Senior leader of the Bangladesh Awami League and a prominent Hindu face in Bangladeshi politics has died in custody, triggering sharp questions over custodial treatment just days ahead of the country's general election. Ramesh Chandra Sen, 83 years of age, a veteran Awami League leader and former Water Resources Minister of Bangladesh, died on Saturday morning while lodged in Dinajpur District Jail. Jail authorities say Sen fell ill early in the day and was rushed to the Dinajpur Medical College Hospital, where he was declared dead at around 9:29 a.m. Sen had been in custody since August 2024 in connection with multiple cases, including a murder charge linked to the political unrest that followed the mass uprising against former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. His death comes at a politically sensitive moment, with the Awami League barred from contesting the February 12th elections under the interim administration led by Muhammad Yunus. The incident has intensified scrutiny of the treatment of detained politicians, with opposition voices alleging custodial neglect and inadequate medical care. Reacting strongly, Vishwa Hindu Parishad spokesperson Vinod Bansal said Sen's death highlights the condition of Hindus in Bangladeshi jails, alleging a wider pattern of violence against the minority community. He accused the Bangladeshi government of appeasing extremist elements ahead of the polls and urged international attention.
देखिए, जब पूर्व मंत्री उनके साथ ऐसा हो सकता है, आप कल्पना कीजिए कि बांग्लादेश की जेलों में और कितने हिंदुओं को सड़ाया जा रहा है। वहाँ पर लगातार मौतें हो रही हैं। पहले भी 2-3 घटना भी सामने आई है रिसेंट पास्ट में, और पिछले 2 महीने के अंदर लगभग 2 दर्जन हिंदू उन अतिवादियों और आतंकियों के द्वारा हलाल किए गए। आप सोचिए कि ये जो इनकी जो हिंदू द्रोही मानसिकता है, जिस प्रकार से वहाँ के अल्पसंख्यकों के विरुद्ध कठोरतम बेसिकली जो अन्याय हो रहा है, एक मतलब मैं कहूँगा कि बहसीपन की हद है, वो बेहद निंदनीय है। और बांग्लादेश की सरकार, चूँकि अभी इलेक्शन भी आ रहे हैं, तो उस दौरान इनको लग रहा है कि शायद हिंदुओं को मारने काटने से हम जिहादियों को खुश कर लेंगे। ये जो मानसिकता है, इससे थोड़ा बाहर निकलना पड़ेगा। और बांग्लादेश इस समय जो है, मुझे लगता है कि आईएसआई की कठपुतली बन गया है। जिस प्रकार से आईसीसी से उसको निकाला गया और जिस प्रकार से पाकिस्तान के चंगुल में वो फंसता हुआ पूरी तरह से नज़र आ रहा है, वो बांग्लादेश की एक खतरनाक एक ट्रेंड बनता जा रहा है। लगातार हिंदुओं की वहाँ हत्याएँ हो रही हैं, वहाँ को उनको जेलों में हो हिंदू या बाहर हो, सुरक्षित नहीं है।
And now we have Suhas Chakma, Director of Rights and Risks Analysis Group, joining us on the broadcast. Suhas Chakma, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on News 9. The question that comes to my mind is this, if you thought the Hindus in Bangladesh outside of the jails are at the risk of losing their lives on a daily basis, imagine those Hindus inside the jails of Bangladesh.
This is the second custodial death in the last 1 month of a Hindu political leader, and about the month back on 11th of January, someone called Praloy Chaki, who was also a leader of the Awami League, was arrested on 25th December 2025. He died in custody. So there is a pattern in terms of custodial deaths of those who are linked with Awami League, and they are often arrested in frivolous and fictitious cases, and they are denied bail repeatedly. Then obviously once the condition deteriorates, one could say that they died of something else. But these are clear-cut custodial deaths, and the way I think the bail are being denied, that I think that's a serious concern, and anybody could be arrested. So Mr. Sen or Praloy Chaki, who were arrested, they had nothing to do with the cases. They were arrested, but they were denied bail. It's just like Chinmoy Das, who had been arrested for murder of a lawyer when he was in the custody of the police. So how is it possible? So all these fictitious cases are being basically charged against the Hindus. There is no rule of law whatsoever. It's a vengeance politics, and unfortunate reality is that the Hindus and the Awami League leaders will continue to be killed in prisons.
Right. Suhas Chakma, you have the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, which has urged international attention to this matter. You also had, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat talk about the fact that if the 1.25 crore Hindus in India, stand together. The world Hindu community, will be able to get together. This is, I hate to use the word, but a Holocaust-like situation for the Hindus in Bangladesh. Attacks at any time in their lives, brutality repeatedly on a daily basis, and in this situation, it cannot be taken. It is not going to be taken, at least by the Hindu organizations, starting with the Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the RSS, lightly anymore. There needs to be some kind of intervention from the Indian side.
Absolutely, I think the response of the Ministry of External Affairs has not gone beyond expressing concerns and condemnations. And if the RSS and the BHP are concerned about it, which they should be, and I think they are very much concerned about it, I think the government of India needs to go beyond usual press statements from the Ministry of External Affairs. I think there is a strong case for taking much more hard measures with the government of Bangladesh. At the end of the government of India has been thrown out of Bangladesh. Nothing is running from India in the country except some bilateral, businesses, etc. But all the projects of the government of India have been closed, or Indian staff from different projects had to leave the country, flee the country. So I think there comes a time, I think, when the government of India has to take a firm stand, because we have to realize that this is a government in Bangladesh which is being supported by certain elements from the Western countries led by the United States. So they are not going to speak up about it. So unless government of India firmly stands up, I don't think we are going to have international support from the Western countries. And unfortunate reality is, if you look at the history of persecution of the Hindus from 1947 till today, and if you look at the reaction of the international human rights organizations on the atrocities against the Hindus and the way millions and millions of Hindus had to flee the country, then what can we expect now? I mean, they have not stood up at that point of time. They are not going to stand up at this point of time. And one custodial death will be lost in statistics. So if it is not going to be lost in statistics, I think the government of India has to stand up and take much more firmer positions with the government of Bangladesh.
Much more stronger. Suhas Chakma, the other question is that there will also need to be intervention from international bodies and platforms. This situation should remind everybody that history has a habit of repeating itself in a very bad way.
Well, absolutely. I think we have been trying very hard. We have been raising at the UN Human Rights Council. We have been trying to brief all the EU diplomats, those who usually speak up on rights issues, and we have raised these issues with the election observer missions of the European Union, the Commonwealth, and etc. So I think, the issue is there has not been adequate concerns, and often I think the persecution of the Hindus is mixed up with the Awami League, persecution. Then again, the specific targeting based on religion is missed out. And if you look at the reaction of the international human rights organizations, obviously, I think they need to speak up much more. They are speaking up. Gradually, I think they have realized that Dr. Yunus' human rights record is absolutely horrendous. So they are speaking out against denial of bail to the Awami League, etc. But I think if a country like India speaks up, then of course it puts these international organizations into a spot or into a shameful position that they are not speaking up, and government like India is being forced to speak up.
Fair enough. We'll leave it at that. Suhas Chakma, Director, Rights and Risks Analysis Group. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us here on News 9.